leash handling, I kind of start out, I like to break my lessons up into kind of two.
Okay.
We'll work the leash first. I'll teach you kind of how to use a leash, how to correct with use
Do we
leash.
get that leash?
We sell these for like $20.
Oh, okay.
And we do recommend it. These are, because they're custom made, they have these little tabs so where you can cinch it up to where that leash is real high and tight right up underneath his chin.
Is that a better spot?
Yes. Rather than, clipping to here.
Yeah.
It just gives you more leverage.
Yeah.
Right? Because where the dog's head goes, their body typically follows. But yeah, and that's, so leash work, everything's on the left side, kind of universal with the dog training world. You always want to kind of hold your leash about a foot and a half, 2 feet, 2 feet of leash. If you're too tight, always holding pressure, it's no good. You want to keep it slack until you need the leash, right? Rather not give him this much leash because then he can pull out in front before I can actually get a correction on him. But yeah, basics, this is basic heel. It's not really, you don't actually have to verbalize the command. If I just simply sit, just grab his leash, start walking, this is heel. Anytime you're walking, kind of to correct that, he's going to be one of those dogs I typically like when they make a couple mistakes during the lesson, just so I can show you how to correct it. But pretty much positioning on this, you want his head about even with your thigh there.
Okay.
The kneecap. He starts working out in front. I would tug back just a little bit. Same with head goes out left. I would jerk right. If he tries to come in front of me, I'll actually cut him off. Use my body pressure to kind of turn him. Right. Because he's not leading me right now. He's walking with me. I'm in control now. Yeah, basic heel, all that, and then you've got sit, real easy. Yes.
He's very food motivated, obviously.
Oh yeah, and that's something you can use that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, sit, just the verbal. If you have to correct it, it's more just a upward tug.
Okay.
He knows what that means. So if he is to, if I say sit, he stands there and looks at me, I would say no, correct with that leash, and then repeat that sit one more time.
Okay.
And that's occasionally I will say heel, and a lot of times I'll pat my leg just to kind of get him moving. That's dogs, they can't speak. They don't know English, so they read a lot of body language cues. Sit. Yes. Good boy. And then we have down. Yes. And that down is just, realistically, you could go to just the verbal, but I like to add that little finger point in just so it's crystal clear what I'm asking him to do.
He seems a little reluctant to do the down.
Most dogs
Oh, okay.
Down as a whole, it's a lot harder to teach.
Is it because it's like really submissive?
And not really. It's more just getting dogs to go down, yes, on command, and it kind of depends. Like I can get him to do it if I really get hyped up. Down. Yes, good boy. See, and it's just kind of depends. And he knows I've been fading. We call it fading the lure, where I'm getting him to do more stuff without having to, actually physically reward him.
That's what was going to be one of my questions. Are we still on the point where he still needs treats?
And
that's okay.
I would use it because there's some dogs that won't even work for food at all. It's really good when they do because, you can have that positive reinforcement. Because the leash and the e-collar is all a form of negative reinforcement.
Right.
So rather than it being negative all the time, every once in a while you can, yes, good boy, feed. And that's why you notice he has really good eye contact. He's looking at me because he's like, I don't know when that food's coming, but I know if I keep doing what I'm supposed to, it's gonna come eventually. Yes.
So you were his main trainer. You were like his trainer this whole time. Or you guys take turns?
Yeah, a little bit. All of us. I took a liking to him, and I worked him quite a bit. I like the big derpy males.
That's him.
I've always liked him. But yeah, going back to working him for his food, realistically, if having a trained dog is a lifestyle, obviously.
Yeah.
but also I would try to incorporate like just 20 minutes of like real intense training every day. You know, walking right turns, left turns, rather than versus taking him on like a long walk. You could just like on your slide here, just walk back and forth, throw some sits at him, some downs at him, working for his food a little bit, just to kind of keep him sharp, right? But yeah, I would definitely use it for the foreseeable future. You know, the next 6 months to a year, just to make sure he stays
to reinforce it.
Yeah, stays real sharp. But yeah, and going back to the down, kind of like I showed you with this sit, to get him, I know what you're expecting. You can just give him that downward tug with the leash as well. So if I tell him sit, or I have him in a sit, I say down, he just looks at me like, I would say no, correct with that leash, that downward pressure, and then hopefully get him back into that down. Here, and you can also, I like to use my feet. It takes some people to get a while to get used to it, where he knows what that means. Even when I even just lift my leg, like he's like, all right, it's coming, I'm going down. But yeah.
He's like, where's my treat?
I know, yeah. Here, good boy, you're doing so well. And then, so heel, sit, down. Another big one is place. Place.
Place. So how do we teach him where that is at our house?
So I would recommend getting one of these elevated dog beds. Just because for one, like you just said, he already knows what this is. So if he is to see one of these even at home, he would associate that with that place command, right? Two, it's also a very clear boundary, so you can reinforce it when he does try to mess up. We have some people will try to go home and use, you know, like the soft dog bed.
That's what we have.
But they'll take advantage of it. It's easier for him to, you know, slap his butt off.
Yeah.
And then that ultimately turns into a snowball effect, to where he's like, well, if I can get my right foot off, then I can get my front half off, and then eventually he's just getting up and doing what he wants. And they have these at PetSmart, Petco. They sell them on Chewy for like $30.
Yeah, okay. What size is that?
So the ones that they have there, I have.
Does it come all the same size, or is it like?
No, they have different sizes. He would probably use the large.
Okay.
My dog is a little bigger than he is, but he fits on the large.
Okay.
So
he'll just stay there.
Yeah, and ultimately you will probably have to reinforce it, because place. How we taught it was, you're meant to get on the bed, lay down, and then stay there, and it's just one word, place. And I can go up, grab him, take him off, same deal. Place. Yes, good boy. And ultimately, this is going to be harder, obviously, with more distractions.
Like my children.
Yes, and that's where that leash would come into play. Like we had somebody walk in here or whatever. Like if your kids were to walk in right now, he would probably get up and want to go see them, and that's where I would grab that leash immediately, take him back. Nope, tug, place.
Okay.
You know, and I would maybe use that leash pressure back down, because he's going to be very amped up.
And then would you like reward him with a treat once he lays down?
No. Well, so rewards are only for perfect reps.
Oh.
Right? So if kids came in and he didn't get up, yes, I would go and reward that. But if he gets up, breaks place, breaks command, I would tug back to place, and then I wouldn't really even tell him anything, like good dog or whatever. I would just be very, very mundane about it. And then maybe after, 3 to 5 minutes, kids being in here, and he stays, does what he's supposed to, then I would go and incorporate that reward, right? So I'll go ahead, I'll get into the positive and negative. I've kind of hit on it a little bit. So you heard me say yes, feed, right?
Okay, so that's what you do.
Yeah, we have the markers. Yes is we mark anything good that he does, we would say yes, and then that means I'm gonna pay him with kibble, with food, which is very valuable for him probably. It's better than getting paid monetarily. But yeah, so every time you feed, yes, right? And then on the opposite end of that spectrum, we have the no, which is our negative marker, which every time I say no, I'm incorporating some kind of correction, whether it's a tug on the leash or tapping that e-collar. And it's always, you always want to follow that verbal up with either food, praise, or on the negative side, some form of a correction, be it leash or e-collar.
Well, and you say yes, and then you say no, click, or
right. It's in that sequence, I really try to just keep it real black and white.
Yep.
That's as soon as I say it, I follow it up with good or bad. And with the corrections as well, the quicker you can correct the bad behavior, the more of an impact it's going to be. Rather than, because we get a lot of people come back and their dog is almost perfect, but you could tell their timing is a little bit off. Where they're saying the verbal no, and then they're waiting another 5 to 10 seconds to actually incorporate any kind of correction. And so it's that much amount of time goes by with from bad behavior to correction in a dog's mind. It's like it almost confuses them. Now, leave it. It almost confuses them because they're like, "What am I getting corrected for?" Because they already forgot what they did 5-10 seconds ago. So the quicker you can be with that leash and e-collar, the better, the more responsive he'll end up being. Any questions thus far?
No more at this point.
Okay.
What's the release to release him from his bed?
Just so either there's a couple different ways you can go grab the leash, pick him up, get him up. I could recall him, say here, or it's free.
Okay.
And free is more means like Kobe dog, right? And that's the same thing we do outside, like when we let him off leash and run the grounds, where I'll actually take the leash off and I'll say free, and that's pretty much you're allowed to go be an idiot and pee and poop and chase butterflies and all of that.
All the things I'm sure he does.
Yes. Sit. But yeah, there's a couple different ways, and that recall is just shows you real good.
So does he need to wear his leash at all times?
So I would recommend it until we do our follow-up. Because we do the follow-up, it'll be like, we try to schedule it like a week to 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
And I kind of view it as added control. Because after we kind of finish going over the leash, I'm going to explain the e-collar to you. And that's the hard thing is like he's well trained on the e-collar, but it's getting you used to using it, right? And that's, as I tell people, if say he keeps breaking off the place or whatever, and the e-collar's on the counter, and you're on the other side of the house, if you don't have that e-collar and there's no leash on him, there's really no way to correct him, right? So I kind of view leaving the leash on him as like added control,
Do you think he's going to be the type of dog that we're going to constantly have to have the e-collar and the leash? Like he's never going to graduate to being fully...
And that depends. Not anytime soon.
Okay.
Because that's like Nick's dog, Rambo. He's 12 years old. He's probably the most well-trained dog I've ever really met and put my hands on. And he still incorporates the e-collar.
Oh, okay.
And that's the same with my dog. I mean, he's almost 4. He's been e-collar trained since he was 6 months old. But it's nice to have that because they're living animals. They're gonna do things that are not good.
Yeah, just like us, right?
Right, and it's being able to have that added control to be able to correct them. And as long as you're consistent, I would say once he matures, maybe 4 or 5 years old, possibly. I mean, no guarantees on it.
Yeah. I was just curious because he's just kind of wild.
Right.
And I was just like, is this just going to be his personality? Is this going to be life from now on, probably?
Right, and he'll mature. He's not. No.
He's not. He won't be a year till August.
No. Yeah, and he's not even a year old, so he's just a baby.
He's just a
still,
baby.
Still maturing. Because, yeah, they don't really fully get not goofy until like 2.
Yeah, that's what I figured, yeah.
That's even my Chesapeake, he's still an idiot half of the time. But yeah, and the e-collar, I kind of view that as like you're an invisible leash, right?
Yeah.
To where he's running the grounds, he can be down at the gate doing whatever, and I can still have that control to call him back to me. To where if he doesn't listen, I can, nope. Like right there, he was about to get up and get off that place where I can actually just, correct him, and I don't actually have to grab that leash, right?
Yeah, because that's great for like when the kids like get home from school and
Yeah.